show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's your man DJ FX right here on MC Love. I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this show, this broadcast, this stream. Because man, I've been trying to get this dude on for a while, and you see what's on. You see what I got behind me here. You see that, right? Okay, and you saw the intro. You saw that, right? Well, I just can't say no more because this man he's more than yeah, he's with his motto, aspire to inspire. He is just that. And I'm not surprised of the support that he gets. He's gotten support from mad load of people on and off the set. So we're not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go ahead and bring him on right now, and it is my man. And we're going to give him, we're going to bring him in with the applause. He is the rider. He is the one and only K Solo.
Hey man, hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man.
Hey man, I don't know if anybody looking, man, but hey, glad to be here, sir. Glad to be here.
Hey, it's good to have you here. I'm just going to jump right in
Yeah.
and start just first let's start with the beginning. Let's start with the beginning.
Okay.
What got you to the point of wanting to ride a motorcycle?
Well, I've been riding all my life, and I'm not gonna say all my life, but as a teenager, I purchased my first bike, which was a Yamaha Phaser, man, and from that point on, I always owned a motorcycle. I
Mhm.
didn't ride then like I do now because, I was serving in the military, overseas deployments, combat deployments, and all of that. So I really didn't pick up riding the way that I did until after I retired.
And then what was your first bike?
It was a little red Yamaha Phaser, man. And I bought that bike because I wanted the VMAX. But because I couldn't afford the VMAX, I bought a Phaser. I found a Phaser, and the guy sold it to me. He said, "Man," he said, "you're gonna be tired of this thing in a couple of months." And I mean, I was riding that thing year round. I was riding it in the winter time. My grandmother bought me a big oversuit. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll see somebody wearing in a garage, a big heavy bear suit, man. And I was riding that thing year round. But I had
Wow.
a little Phaser, and Yamaha was my first bike, man, and from there on, I just been riding.
That's what's up. Now, what got you started? Now, before I go into that one, before I go into that, I just want to let everybody to know that I was trying to give people the time to get in. Um, and that's probably what I should have done, but I didn't. 'Cause normally
You just
they'll
getting
pop
warmed back
in.
up, baby. You just getting warmed back up.
I
Come on,
know, right?
DJ. You a pioneer at this thing, man. You a pioneer. Come on. Let's not throw no credit my way. Let's reverse this. Hey, sir. So how long have you been podcasting?
Oh man, I
See that? You
appreciate
didn't
that.
know that. See.
Um, I no, but the reason why I wanted to do this, I wanted people to know, because I've watched the show,
Mhm.
and you guys be doing a phenomenal job. I got to give credit where credit
Thank
is
you.
due.
Thank you, sir. I thank you.
Um, your guests, your co-hosts, y'all mesh very well. Um, and I salute you guys and thank you for both of y'all services to us. But I wanted people to get to know you guys. You guys been, behind the mic asking the questions
Mhm.
to the host, but
Mhm.
who is K Solo? You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
man. Oh
So
man.
we're going to dig a little bit, deep into that. But I'm going to give some people some time to get in here before we get too deep. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to my original question I was going to ask you
Yeah. Yeah.
was that how long no, have you been in any clubs? Have you been a part of any motorcycle clubs as you was gotten involved more and more in the riding?
I have. I have an affiliation with Dahuru MC, Mother Chapter out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, I rode with those guys for over 10 years. I did my last 6 as a nomad and rose through the ranks, you know what I'm saying, of out of a chapter as the secretary, vice president, president. Then got on the national board, first nomad of that club, uh, first national sergeant of arms. And then I moved up to national secretary. And yeah, man. So my affiliation will forever be with Dahuru MC.
Nice. That's all right. Um, Now, what inspired you to be a part of a motorcycle club?
Well, I never had an aspiration to join a club. That was never my thing, because I kind of always maybe say been not say a loner, but I just kept to myself. And so after retirement, in the military, man, you build that camaraderie. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You build that camaraderie. And then even though it may only be 2 or 3 years before you're going to PCS somewhere else, you still meet people that you forever keep in contact with. You stay in contact with. You hit them on the line. While you're there, you're building bonds. You feel like brothers to each other. You are brothers. You are brothers combat in arms. So after retirement, man, I had that urge for after divorce. I had that urge. I opened me a small little motorcycle shop. So so that was my initial contribution to the culture when I opened my shop up because I had people coming in and out daily. I was setting up. I was going to bike events. People. That's how people got to know me as saying, "Hey, the guy who owned Premium Custom Cycles." So some clubs approached me and said, "Hey, look, man, why don't you join this club?" And I said, "No." I turned them down. I said, "No, man, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to get into that." But then one club, like I say, Dahuru out of SeaTac, Eric Rowland, Low Key, those guys, Swoop, Fam, those guys impressed me so greatly that I said, "Hey, man, these are mature guys. I like the style, I like the flow, I like to get down." So I ended up saying, "Hey, man, I want to join those guys." And I'm telling you, it wasn't something where I just say, "Hey, I want to join you guys." Those guys is like, you don't want this, you don't want this. And it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you need to knock on the door if you want this. And from that moment on, man, that set the tempo for me because during my prospect phase and how I got my name, during my prospect phase, there was 3 of us. And so my other 2 line brothers, I call them line brothers because we all Masons. So they ended
Mhm.
up going down range on tours. So I was left by myself. So everything fell on me. Everything that needed to be done fell on that one prospect. And I did
Wow.
it. And I did it to the best of my ability that my father, Low Key and E40 named me. They named me K Solo because I said, "Why you name me Solo, man?" He said, "Because everything we asked you to do, everything that need to be done as a prospect, you did it. And you did it by yourself." And
Wow.
I will forever be K Solo.
that was going to be my next question, how you got your name.
Yeah,
And you wear it with pride. I
yeah,
see that, and you're right.
yeah,
You're gonna be forever known as K Solo.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Now let's talk a little bit about the hookah hay. How did that
Hoka,
get started
Hoka
for you?
Hey, Hoka Hey,
Hookah hay. Okay,
Hoka
not
Hey.
hookah. Hookah hay.
Not
Okay.
hookah, man. We ain't smoking up in here. No,
How did
no.
that get started?
We're gonna jump to that because there's a lot in between the time that I rode the Hoka Hey and 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 joining the club per se or start riding the way that I did. So we'll jump to that, sir. And I know this is your interview, but there's a lot in between. There's a lot in between that I would like to share.
Hey, that's what we're here for. I want you to share. I want people to sit and get to know
because people
K Solo.
because the thing is, man, I never opened up to the public.
Mhm.
I never shared my location. I never shared my what I did share is I showed snapshots and snippets of my travels. And that alone, people was like, okay, where's K Solo? Where's K Solo at? Where's K Solo at? Hey man, that's a great picture. That's a great screen. Where is that? Where are you?
Mhm.
And so that's what fascinated people about me. But because the club that I was in is a OMC, I go ahead and put that out there. OMC, I couldn't put my information, location, my travels, whereabouts, who I was with out there. Places that I was going, I couldn't put it on social media that, hey, I'm going to this 1% clubhouse or I'm going to this OMC clubhouse and I'm kicking with these guys. I couldn't put it out there. But what I did put out there was my travels, my travels.
Mhm.
And so that alone got me indoors, took me places, my travels, my adventures, my journey that just, you know, I stood to that name of being K Solo. But the how I got into the Hoka Hey, once again going back to and the long distance riding, I met Sharif Asadi. Uh, I mean, we jailed just like this, man. Our riding style was same. We both was veterans, and so me and Sharif, we started just pounding cross country, man. Doing IBA
Wow.
rides, doing SMA rides, four corner rides, just some crazy stuff, just some crazy riding. And so um he said, "Hey man, I heard about this ride. It's called the Hoka Hey." And he told me about it. I said, "Man, I ain't doing that crazy stuff, man. I'm not camping out, man. I'm not gonna ride 10,000 miles in 10 days, man. I'm not gonna do that." But Kenneth Andrews came to one of our RTEs, and Kenneth Andrews set me down and he talked to me. He broke it down to me. And shout out to Kenneth Andrews, man. I will always credit me even think about signing up for the Hoka Hey because he instilled it in me and said, "Hey, Solo, you could do it. You could do it, man." And so Kenneth sparked that fire. Um, that got me interested in it. I registered for it. I got accepted, submitted my resume, and that's one thing I enjoyed about it, man. To me, at the time, it felt like it was the elite ride. It not against other riders, but for yourself.
Mhm.
And so with that, I said, I want to do it. And when I do something, I do it to the best of my ability. I do it 110%, man. You know, raised
That
that
you do.
way, military, um, Masonic, um, everything that I do, you know what I'm saying? I do it to the best of my ability. That's just how I am. So with that, I registered, I got accepted, was nervous, was scared. 2020 was my first time riding it. And I caught a lucky break. I caught a lucky break, man. I got the right position. I got next to the right people. But unfortunately, um, one of my good friends, Todd Moreland, rest in peace, he ended up uh, crashing and passing away in
Mm.
2020. And so from the moment that I got that call, which I literally just dropped to my knees because I couldn't believe it, I said, I'm going to run this thing for Todd. And I mean, I ran it. I made mistakes because I was a rookie. I wasn't used to the turn by turn directions. I punished myself for making senseless, stupid mistakes because I was into a fatigue zone and I was overcorrecting. Instead of going back to the point, I would go back 2 points just to make sure that I was staying in compliance with what the instruction was saying. And
Mhm.
so the Hoka Hay was a challenge to me. It pushed me. It pushed me to my limits of saying, "Can you do this? Can you do this?" And I did it, and I ended up, uh, you know, with a good showing, first time out showing. Shout out to Riot and Chris Hopper. If we three could have came in holding hands up together in a three-man front, we would have. But the guy said, "Hey man, Solo, you've been chasing Diesel and Fetty the whole time, man." So I ended up coming in third on my first Hoka Hay,
Mm.
and then of course, 2022, man. I said I learned everything that I did. I learned from my mistakes, and so from learning from my mistakes, I just went out and ran balls to the wall, man.
Wow.
Balls to the
Wow.
wall.
And you know what? I commend you with that dedication and that drive, that thrive, and you know, you know, you kinda beat yourself up, but it's a reward on the other end of it because you learn from your mistakes, even though you may have gone around that mountain the same, that same old mountain in the same way, but eventually you came to the point where it's like, "Oh, wait, there's an exit right there. This is where I
Mm-hmm.
need to go."
Mm-hmm.
And you take that and you learn from it and you build from it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were going through the Hoka Hay, um, what were some of the best experiences that you've had? Well, no, let me back up. As a long distance riders, what
Mm-hmm.
are some of your most memorable rides that you've encountered?
Most memorized. Uh, you know, you know, the most memorable, once in a lifetime, without a doubt, is riding up to Alaska and all the way up the Dalton Highway to Prudhoe Bay, top of the world, by myself.
Whoa!
By myself. Now, don't get me wrong. The rides that Sharif and I did is most memorable, but that stand alone, had to be just taking off, going up to Alaska by myself with no support, with everything falling on me. If I ran out of gas, if I blew a tire, if I needed recovery, or whatever case may be, I was by myself. And I didn't have a sidearm with me. So
Man.
for me to do that was totally mind blowing. And I was in a zone to the point where I wasn't realizing the dangers. I had
Mm.
blocked out the dangers, seen grizzly bears on the Dalton Highway. Could have had a blowout. No support, no phone signal, no phone. I didn't have the phone signal when I was running. I didn't get phone signal until I got to one of the gas stations that had Wi-Fi, and I had to get on Wi-Fi. But I was literally by myself on the Dalton in Alaska, riding with no fear, with absolutely no fear.
When I first started riding, I never rode the distance that you guys have ridden, and I
Mhm.
prayed that I have that opportunity. But when I
Right.
first started riding I was living in Charlotte, and of course, my home is here in the DMV. Just that short distance of a ride for me, it was the most memorable thing because you get to see everything that, and I'm not making this a, spiritual thing, but it to me, it was kinda spiritual. It's like, you look at what all God has put out here, and I'm pretty sure
Oh
going
man.
that distance,
Oh
and it's
man.
like you're not really worried about anything. It's you, those 2 wheels, and that open wind, and it's like, ah, and of course, subconsciously, you're worried about the drivers and everything like that, but just those moments like that is you can't put
DJ,
a price tag on it, you can't put, a label on it, it's hard to label it, but for me, it's the closest to God is that I can get to.
without a doubt, I know the hand of God was pushing me along because the scenery, what my eyes what I saw through my eyes, the
Mhm.
beauty of nature, the
Mm.
moose, the elk, the salmons was running. I stopped and just stood there and watched the salmon running upstream, man. A salmon, this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was taking it all in, every bit of it. The Alaska pipeline. We was growing up as kids, we heard about the Alaska pipeline. They didn't want to build it.
Right.
And then to actually be standing next to it, which I ended up going down a dirt road, which I wasn't supposed to. Then the white truck came and was like, hey, you can't be here. I'm telling you, if you go up to Alaska and you stop near one of those Alaska pipelines, stay there for about 10 minutes. A white pickup truck gonna come up out of nowhere and be like, hey, you can't be here. But but yeah, but I got my picture though. But just taking it all in, the beauty of it all. Man, and then bumping into other riders and seeing their expressions and just incredible. Yes, it's a spiritual um journey. It's a feeling that you'll never forget.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can, like I said, just my little short distance, I can imagine the great impact that will continue to instill in you, that
Yes,
it's
sir.
a memory that you can, chop it up with others and share. But it's very, very it's going to be very, very special in your heart because it stood out.
Oh yeah.
One of your most memorable rides. It
Oh yeah.
stood out.
But I mean, it's just like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a super long ride to be memorable. That's why I started the group. Um, um, and now I'm having a brain fart. The back rows.
Oh yeah, the back
The back
roads.
rows
Yeah.
America on too. That's why I started that page, that group, because I tried to inspire people to say, hey, look, get on the back rows, ride the back rows, ride Route 66, ride some of these old historic highway and routes and see the scenery. Take in some of that old history when cars used to be riding at it, when they were the main roads. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When it's just like before 95 was built. You know what I'm saying? Route one, ride Route one. Sharif and I, Paul, Matt, Armin, Storm, we rode the back road from Route One all the way down from Maine to Key West, bro.
Wow.
How many people you know that's done that? The entire length of Route One. You talking about
Not many.
scenery. You talking about scenery, man. That was
Not
beautiful.
many.
Now that was beautiful.
Not
I
many.
would tell anybody, you want to do something adventurous, you don't have to necessarily go outside the country. There's a lot to ride right here in America. Hit those
I
back
rode
roads.
I rode with the Kingdom Knights here in the DMV, and they took some back roads, and I rode with them. First of all, they ride like outlaw bikers.
They ride, man. They
They
ride.
ride like
They
outlaw
ride.
bikers.
Yes, sir. They
But
ride.
as nervous and scared as I was on some of those roads and them turns, I hung in there. But, yeah, so the back roads,
The
I
back roads
agree,
on twos, man.
because they're unpredictable, um, but they make you respect the road and get to know your bike, become one with your bike.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, and speaking of being one with your bike, how how often? Because I've seen a couple of pictures where you were riding and you had, some, mechanical issues going on. You had a change a tire and things of that nature. How often do those unexpected, expenses come up while you're out, going your distance?
I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. After about 2 or 3 years of being on the highway and finding out if you need a new tire, it's gonna run you about 400 some dollars right then on the spot. You need a service, it's gonna run you about 200, $300 on the spot.
On the
That's why
spot.
I start investing in the extended service maintenance plan and the tire and wheel plan. Now, I always say the good, the bad, and the ugly. I showed the good, but I didn't show a lot of the bad. There was a lot of time that I was running on threads. There was a lot of times that I'm I'm having issues, but I didn't put it out there
Those were the
because
ugly,
those were the
ugly moments.
uglies. Those the ugly moments, man. And I tell everybody, hey, Moose, hey, Logic, the ugly is what makes you though. The ugly is what's builds you and makes you stronger, more confident in
Mhm.
what you do. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, and I'm a believer in don't give me a fish, teach me how to fish. You know what I'm saying?
How
Let
about
me let
that?
me learn how to be strong on my own. Let me learn how to stand on my own. So with that, I got out there, man. I was running cross country. Um, it got to the point where I knew certain dealership that I can go in and just automatically get service, or I could go and say, "Hey, look, um, or call ahead and say, "Hey, I need a tire." And the guy said, "Hey, Solo, when will you be here?" I said, "I'll be in about 2 days. We'll have it for you." So that strengthened me in my riding. I had faith and confidence in my bike because, like I say, my dealership, shout out to Boneyard Harley Davidson and Jay Bird, those guys kept me rolling. I mean,
Mm,
and Russ, who was the service manager at the time, I literally had those guys on speed dial. When I had that wreck
uh,
during the Hoka Hay, I was in a panic mode. I panicked. The first
mhm.
thing that I did was I tried to get the bike rolling. The bike wouldn't roll. The bike wouldn't start. It went in limp mode. I panicked. I picked the phone up and I called Jay Bird, who's the lead tech, master tech
Mm.
at Boneyard. And he calmed me down and he said, Solo, check this, check that. And sure enough, I looked down and the brake pedal was engaged. It had pushed down and dirt was holding it down, which was causing it to lock up as it started rolling. So those guys kept me rolling. I would be on the road. I They'll tell you, I'd be on the West Coast or I'd be in Maine and say, hey, look, I'm coming in. I need a service. Solo, you just be here. We got you. And they would keep me rolling. So for
You know,
me, I had confidence in my machine because I knew I kept it serviced. And that gave
I
me
like
that gave me the confidence to sit there and say, my bike is serviced. I didn't even worry about it. And I looked at it as my stallion. My stallion was fit. My stallion was fed. My stallion was ready to run. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was, outlaw cowboy, bass. I felt like I was bass man. You know what I'm saying? I ran like that. I ran like that. That's why I'm old school biker. I wear chaps.
right.
That's me. That's what keep me in tune to being a biker. So for me, my machine was in tough and I work out. I work out. I stay
Mhm.
fit. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
that
I see
gave
you up
me,
in the I see you up
yeah,
in the gym
yeah,
getting
man. I
them
tell
guns.
everybody, man. I tell anybody, man, you can ride a motorcycle, but you better keep your health up, man. You better keep your health up.
I know that's right. What advice would you give to, women or men, more men who, um, aspire to be distant riders?
I say don't
What
don't
what what
don't go out there for show. Don't go out there looking for likes. Don't go out there trying to impress people. Let the ride and journey be yours. Let it be yours. You know what I'm saying? Why do you, and I say this all the time? Why do you ride? Why do you ride?
Mm,
What are you riding
mhm,
for? Are you riding for a cause? Are you riding for a cause? You got some people riding for charities. You got some people riding because they're trying to escape from something. They want to get away from something. Some people riding for the joy and thrill, and everybody don't ride the same. Some people say, I own a motorcycle, man. My thrill is riding to the clubhouse and riding back home. That's my
mm.
thrill. That's my joy. My thrill is sitting in the garage, wiping it down, shining it up, knowing that I own it. You know what I'm saying? And some people may say, I don't watch my bike. Some people may say that, say, man, I want to go ride 1,000 miles. I know guys who roll 1,500 miles a day every time they got off work. Come on, man. Come on now. It's like everybody have their own reason to ride. Don't ever lose the reason why you ride. Don't say, okay, I'm a vlogger. Now I'm trying to create content. And now I have to
Mhm,
take this picture, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. Then you're gonna lose why you ride. Because then
mhm.
it's gonna shift to now, okay, now I got to get content. Or now it's okay, even competition. People that sit there and say, well, okay, I got to get so many of this, I got to get so many of that, or I got to ride this far or this fast. Now it's a competition. Did you start out?
Wow.
Was that your
Yeah.
reason? Was that your reason for riding? You started rising, But like I say, everybody for that ride for their own reason, though.
Yeah. It goes back to that saying. That saying has a lot of different meanings. Ride your ride.
Ride your ride.
It has a lot of different meanings, and that's one of them right
And I
there.
and I and I don't profess to being the greatest of anything, man, because there's nothing that I could do on a motorcycle that ain't already been done. Andy
Mhm.
Anderson rode 100,000 miles for me. Michael Kneeborn, a whole bunch of people rode 100,000 miles in a year before me. Uh, 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 the Rat 48. Now, yep, that was probably the first time that the Rat 48 because the IBA came out with that. But people have been long distance riding for a while. People have been running coast to coast for a while. You know what I'm saying? People have been on the I-10. People have been on 95. You guys coming down, for a while.
What would your inspiration for riding the distance, where did that come from? What was that inspiration? Where that
Being in a club, being in a club, because the club was a national club. People's on the. I started out in Seattle, and my first coast to coast was going to an event, an outlaw event in Savannah, Georgia. And I that was my first cross country ride, solo, solo, and
all solo?
that's when I caught the bug. But um, it was when I joined the club. I'd go over there and kick it with my bros on the East Coast. I'd go kick it with
Mhm.
the bros in Texas. I was everywhere. It gotten to the point where it wasn't even a question to ask. Well, is Solo coming? Like, is he coming? Shit, that cat gonna be pulling here.
He gonna come before you.
Yeah, he gonna be here before you. And that was the running joke. Like, did you really just ask was he gonna be here? Of course he's gonna be here.
That's what's up.
And that was through
Alright, we're gonna
rain,
take
cold, and everything, man. But okay.
no, we're gonna take a quick 30 seconds. You know, I'm yeah, we're gonna take a quick 30 seconds. We'll be right back, y'all.
All right.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. I'm here with my man K Solo, the Rider, who has a podcast that's on every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. East Coast time, and I think it's 7 o'clock
8
Central
p.m.
time.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific.
There you go. All time zones. There
All
you
time
go. It's
zone,
covered
baby.
right there. It's all covered. Yeah, just it's riding with K Solo,
The
riding with
podcast with
riding.
Logic.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Because I don't know why I've always ever since I've been doing this, I'm always messing up either my guest name, I'm either messing up the club name, or I'm messing up something. But yeah, I thank you for correcting me.
Oh man, I'm just trying to help out, man. I'm just trying to fit in. I'm the new kid on the block.
Well, new kid on the block, but you've been around. You've been around the
Yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so as a rider, as a solo rider,
Mhm.
what are some of your thoughts as you're out there riding?
Uh, you know, me riding and every ride, I treat it as a therapy session. Either I'm trying to figure something out, trying to clear my head, dealing with my PTSD because you know what I'm saying. I've been diagnosed with PTSD, mental, physical, all of that. That's how I look at my rise. Don't try to compete against anybody. Don't try to sit there and be the best at it. But I just enjoy it. So if I'm going and definitely love to eat, so that was always been one of the things that I do, man. It's just when I'm riding, I stop into restaurants, I meet people, I see people, but it's more of a therapy session for me. I mean, it truly is a therapy session to clear my mind, to feel good about things, to break things down, to get a better understanding.
Okay. Now, when you're out there riding, getting clear in your mind and your thoughts, what what are some of the things that really give you that aha moment of I got to do it again, or I want to do it a little bit different this the next go round?
Mm, every trip I see something new, a different encounter. It could be the same highway, same road, but just a different encounter. Um, what I do is I look at that journey and say, what am I going to take away from this journey? What is life going to throw at me? You know what I'm saying? Um, Dealing with other people. I kind of like, you go ahead and do your thing. Let me just go ahead and follow this line. It's me just decompressing of everyday life, being on the road and being feeling free, man. The freedom that
Now,
I get from it.
now would you say, and I've heard this from a couple of different people who um, pretty much just dedicate their life to riding. Do you find that riding has more or less like saved your life?
Oh yeah.
Has it been a life altering thing for you where it's like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, when you're out there riding, that is your, as you say, that's your office.
That's the office. And I started posting that. Here's the view from the office. Because
Yep.
I'm working. All of my senses are working. Smell, taste, sight, hearing, everything's working. My body, I'm using all of my body. One of the running jokes, I said, man, I know where all the livestock feeding farms are because man, I done passed them, smell them, and know where they're at. you know, I know what grain they feeding these cows out here, man, because I'm all in tune with it. But hearing the bike run, that was the time that I rode my bike. I didn't even listen to music. I didn't even listen to music
Mm,
because I was just so in tune with it. Um,
that's what's up.
yeah,
How was your first camping? Your first time camping,
scary.
and where was it? Where was it?
I don't I can't even remember where it was at, but I do know that I was scared to put my tent down because I was so afraid that somebody was just gonna come up and do something or harm me or bother me, or I was gonna be so sleep that I was gonna wake up and a flashlight in my face. But
Mm,
I was used to camping from the military. That was nothing new to me, man.
right.
I mean, being outdoors, sleeping outdoors, that was nothing new to me. But just pulling up on the bike, popping my tent up, camping. I think it was in South Dakota. Yeah, South Dakota. Got it. South Dakota, the Badlands. That was my first time dropping my tent in the Badlands. And I actually got a picture of me walking. I set my camera up on the rock and I was standing out there, I had my cut on, my hat on, and I was walking. That was the first time that I camped in the Badlands.
Wow.
And uh, I was just so afraid that something was gonna get me out there because there ain't nothing but a little tent, man. But I fell asleep. I slept like a rock, and from that moment on, man, I keep a tent on my bike. You seen the pictures, man. I mean, Oregon, I'm on the coast. The desert, I'm out there in Utah, uh, California, all of it.
As a biker, as someone who has inspired, I'm pretty sure, many, many people, what what is the what gives you that, trying to find the right words for this, because I don't want to be generic with it. But as a biker who or a rider who inspires someone, because I know you're a humble person. That's the first thing I know. I know that from countless conversations, the conversations we have had off air. Um, you're a humble person. What? Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. As a rider who inspires a lot of people, what is your greatest gift that you believe that you have that will continue to inspire people?
My greatest gift, my humility. I'm humble with it.
Yeah.
Even with my accomplishments, I don't brag about it. I don't boast about
Right,
it. My humility.
right. And see, that's what I was getting at
Yeah.
because there's so much humility, being so humble is a is a great reward and a great motivator because it's they're not seeing you, they're seeing what molds you, what drives you, what makes you do what you do without bragging about it. You don't have to brag about it. You're showing it through your character.
Right.
And that's what got me to come back to doing what I do. People like you, people like Khan, who does uh, Venue GPS,
Mhm.
um, him, and countless other. There was somebody from I want to say England hit me up in my inbox. When you gonna bring the show back?
Right.
Well, I brought the show back, but I don't see him out here commenting. But
Hey, give it time.
Con,
Give it time, man. Give it time. Just like you tell
oh,
me, Solo. Give it time.
I
Give it
will,
time.
because Khan said something to me, and it really reignited something. He said, "You may not get the likes, you may not get the follows and the shares, but he said keep going,"
Right.
and that stuck with me.
Right.
And then after a few weeks after watching that show that I did with him, and then speaking with you, and then you said something, I was very humble when you told me that you knew what I was doing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
that I was a pioneer in this,
Yeah.
and you know,
When you were doing it, I was riding hard. You know what I'm saying?
yes, you were,
I was
because
riding hard. I couldn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? I caught snippets of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I mean, it's just like prime example. Tone Tea Time. Tea Time was part of a cast. You know, people don't know about it, and that's what I say. Every month, there's somebody new joining an MC. There's somebody
hmm
new joining a set. They don't look back. They look from the time they get that full patch going forward. That's what they see. It's the
hmm
ones that take the time to go and look at the history, to look
hmm
at the past, to sit there and say, these are the OGs, these are the pioneers. This is why I can do what I do. These are my inspirations. You see what I'm saying? Because I took the time to sit with the easies. I sit the time to sit with my OGs and say, hey, Smiley, hey man, how about this? How about that? Tell me this story. How did this happen? When did this start? How did you do this? How was this? And then I built off of that
hmm
because I mean, and I tell Hero all the time, I had a picture of Hero Benson in our clubhouse. He wasn't even in our club, but I had pictures of him because I had uh Bessie Stringfield in the clubhouse and before the big rise and everything happened, she was up in the clubhouse because of the iconic picture
Wow.
of her sitting on that bike to me
Yeah.
was history. And
Yes.
so I want my legacy and yes, these are different times now. These pictures aren't in black and white. These pictures are in color now.
hmm
But I want somehow, some way, some of the images that may have crossed my timeline that I may have put out there to maybe someday show up somewhere and say, yeah, I know that guy. I seen that guy. That guy done some incredible things on a motorcycle. He's done some riding that inspired a lot of people. That's all that I ever asked for.
You see that picture behind me? I know that guy. We haven't met face to face yet, but I know that guy.
But I don't brag about my accomplishment. Um, I'm happy that I'm done them. I feel blessed. I think everybody who supported me throughout the years of me riding, I have great support, great people who was there when I was by myself that I make phone calls. There are people who nursed me back up and told me everything's gonna be all right, keep pushing. Shout
Mhm.
out to everybody who supported me, man. Everybody who opened their doors for me. Everybody who sent me money. You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, man, you inspire me. Here's a tank of gas. A solo. Here's a meal. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you can't do it by yourself, man. You can't. No matter how
Yeah,
much no, I'm solo. I didn't do it by myself.
that's
But
right.
the thing is, man, is just someday I want to just be when I'm old and decrepit and sitting on the front porch rocking. I said this many a times. I'm gonna bust out laughing because my mind gonna go someplace on a ride. And I might even say, Sharif, what you doing? Where you going? You know what I'm saying? But
Now
yeah,
you said
man,
something
that's
about
all I want to do.
the times has changed and everything.
Yeah.
What is your view on these women bikers that are coming up, making big noise and doing, um, you know, their thing on and off the set, as bikers, as riders?
I'm gonna tell you right now, the females are definitely doing it.
Mhm,
They've been doing it. And the thing about the females, they support each other, bro. They
mhm,
support each other a lot more than the males do. I'm gonna say it right now, and people may hold it against me, but we as men, we let our egos get to us sometimes.
mhm,
Our egos block blessings. Our
mhm,
jealousy and envy block blessings. If we could unite and come together and support each other, like the females are supporting each other with the all female rise. Now, I don't like splitting the two. I think it should be open to everybody,
mhm.
but I don't like things that separate us. If I'm looking at you as being a outstanding elite rider, I look at it like that. I say female rider because that's your gender. But the thing to me is, man, a professional is a professional.
Right.
That's what I love about. That's one thing that I looked at the whole. Okay, when you get that professional rider, you're a professional rider. Females are professional rider, men are professional riders.
Yeah,
So
big
I
shout out
say
to the
the
Mileage Bully.
yeah. I say females are doing it. They've been doing it. Keep doing it. Don't let this become a competition. Don't sit there and say we doing anything bigger and better. Just say we doing it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Keep pushing, get your miles in, ride your ride. You're not in competition with the men. Come on now. It's no competition.
I
It's no
think anything
competition.
any
It should be all of us enjoying the culture and the lifestyle.
be in competition with yourself,
Be in
if
competition
anything.
with
If you
yourself.
wanna be in competition with anybody, be in competition with yourself
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're the one that is gonna be out there. You're the one that's doing for you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah,
My
I
hat's off
agree.
to them, man. I would not take anything away from the females. Um, I try to highlight them just as much as I do the males on my show, because they're riding and they're doing it. They're going places, riding, seeing things, doing things, camaraderie, uh, their charities, things that they're riding for, things that they're supporting.
Mhm.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, that's what's
And
up.
sometimes, man, I wish the men would would come together like the females, you know?
For many years, when I first saw excuse me, Northwest DC. I'll remember this, and I'll always remember this. I remember hearing a rumbling thunder noise of bikes
I already know.
coming down 14th Street. 14th Street was just right up the street from us. And we're just hearing those bikes, and we would run outside and look and see it had to been at least a mile long of bikers. And they pretty much shut 14th Street down. And 14th Street is a two-way street. So when they shut that thing down, that was something that motivated me to become a biker. But as I grew up, life happened and I didn't do it.
Right.
And eventually I end up, when I was living down in Charlotte, North Carolina, I ended up joining the motorcycle club down there. And I
Mhm.
began to really learn more about the culture of the set, the
Right.
do's and the don'ts. And I'm still
Right.
learning a lot about the do's and the don'ts of the culture.
Uh-huh.
What aspect of learning the do's and don'ts that you've acquired from a lot of the OGs, what can you say to some of the newcomers, the newbies that are coming up, these popcorn riders? And I say popcorn because sometimes they'll ride for 2 or 3 years and then they're gone. But more so the newbies who really want to be, either distant riders or want to go into a club. What can you instill in them? What form of wisdom can you bestow on them?
I can only speak from my experience. Um, I took my time before I joined the club. I own a motorcycle. Shout out to Marvin Thomas Sr. He mentored me when we was down in Alabama. Um, you know, that's when I really, got my bike. I was able to ride because I was a drill instructor. But the thing is that what I would tell anybody is take your time before you join a club. Just and maybe just frequent the set to get to know how the set operates, to see and look and be observant. Wherever you at, just observe the set for a while, maybe for a year. Maybe for a year, just go to a couple of different clubhouses, get your face out there and just learn. Do more looking than talking. Do more listening than talking. If you're new to it, some people, everybody don't have the same mentality. Some people just walk, they feel they walk with a big stick. But I would say anybody new that's coming on is take your time, learn the set, learn protocol before you even join a RC or an MC.
Mhm.
And then and some people they prefer to walk the ladder. They're gonna join a group, then they're gonna join an RC, then they're gonna join an MC, then they join OMC, then they join a 1%. Some people walk that ladder in life. Some people just want to just jump right in. But whatever you do is if you join a club, if you want a long distance ride, and I break it down into two. Uh, Joining a club, get to know the men or women in that club. Just observe, be observant. Be observant. Just observe. Make sure that's the club for you. And once you join that club, learn everything you can about that club. Go back in time, go back in history. Go back and find and hear the names that made that club.
Mhm.
Don't just pick up from right there where you at and just say, you know what, I'm a full patch now. Don't nothing matter from here going, but nothing but here going forward. Take that time to go and look at the charter. Go look at the first set of bylaws. Go and take a look and say, well, who was this person? Well, when did this? How did this? Oh, we got 3 or 4 different sets of patches that we eventually got to. Um, and give it that commitment to sit there and say, this is where I want to be. Now, everything happened in life, and we know that. Some people say, well, okay, now I got kids, I got to step away, you know. But don't sit there and say, well, okay, well, I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna go over here, or I'm gonna start my own thing. Because that's when you start, okay, well, he was over here, well, he was over here, he was over here. That's not
Mhm.
a good look.
Club hopping.
Club hopping, that's not a good look. And I don't get into a lot of politics with this anymore. But I can just say the things that set you up for success, to sit there and give you some longevity in that is find you one and stick with it and give it all you got, man. Give it everything you got. Ride for that brand. I say it's riding for that brand. Ride for that brand. Um, Dues, riding, events, learn to balance your time. Do all of that when you're gonna be in a club. Now, when you
That's
can
what's
tell me,
up.
when you sit there and say, well, I want a long distance ride. Okay, first off, make sure you got a bike that can long distance ride. Maybe not even first. Make sure your money right because it's expensive. It's expensive. I'm
Yeah,
telling you right now,
You gotta make
It's
sure everything is straight
expensive.
on that bike, like you
It's
said.
expensive.
You gotta feed that Mustang or that pony or
I'm trying to tell
whatever
you, man,
whatever type of animal you wanna call your two wheel.
them oats cost, man. Them oats and water cost when you pull up to the stable. You can't. They like, "Yeah, you need some oats for your horse. You need some water for your horse. You need some shoes for your horse.
I
That
know, right?
costs." You know what I'm saying? So I kept ambition in the best shape, but make sure your money right. Make sure you learn to balance with it, man. Make sure that you're riding for a reason, not just a call. You know what I'm saying? Just because. Don't try to sit there and ride and be impressive or try to impress somebody, because I say it all the time. You're gonna die a senseless death, man. Getting out
Mm.
riding in bad weather, you're gonna die a senseless death. Now, have I ridden in it? Yeah, but I ridden in it for me. You know what I'm saying? Of pushing myself. But don't turn it into a competition. Don't sit there and think you're doing something that hasn't already been. If Evil Knievel haven't done it, buddy, you ain't gonna do it. You can't do it, man. You ain't, you know.
Alright, we're gonna take another quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about how you stepped into your podcast. We're gonna
Oh
talk about that.
man.
We're gonna talk about
Oh
that a little bit.
man.
And this is the first time with MC Love that I've gone over my time, and I am thoroughly enjoying this. We're gonna be right
You
back,
got me
y'all.
talking, man.
I know. We're gonna be right back. Alright, y'all, we are back. We're back. We're back. It's your man DJ FX with MC Love with DJ FX, and I am here with the man, the rider, the legend himself, Mr. K Solo. Digging a little bit into him, getting to sit and get to know the man behind the two wheels. Getting to sit to know the man behind the microphone. Getting to
Oh
sit the
man.
getting sit getting sitting and getting
I
to
ride a little bit,
know
man. I ride a little bit. That's all. I ride a little bit, man.
just a little bit.
I ride just a little bit, man. Just a
Just a
little
little bit.
bit. Trust me.
Yeah, just a
That's
little
a
bit.
little bit. I got great people ride with me, man.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? You do epic thing with epic people. So
That's what's up.
that's what,
Well,
man.
this
I
is an epic
and
thing for me,
yeah,
and,
and let me just say this, sir. Shout out to again to everybody who support me with the podcast, supported me riding. Shout out to Bonjour Harley Davidson for sponsoring me for so many years. You know, it's just been an incredible relationship that I had with those guys down there at Boneyard Harley Davidson. But yeah, man, Sharif, my brother, once again, congratulations to him for receiving the Titan. He's going to be receiving the Titan next week award, and him and Piper. And yeah, man.
that's what I wanted to get into before we go into your podcast. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've got, in the mix? What things you got going on in the mix? Let's talk a little bit about the ride to eat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. The history behind the ride to eat. Uh, and we're going into our ninth year now. Um, Sharif and I, we met on the West Coast. We started riding, and then I moved back to the East Coast. And he said we were going back and forth, just talking. Said, "Hey man, let's meet up and have lunch, and let's pick somewhere in the middle of the country and have lunch and turn around and go home." And that's what we did. Um, we met up uh, at the barbecue joint at the Salt Lick Barbecue, in Texas, and a group of people met us there. Thundercat, Her Club, Black Pearls, uh, Dahuru MC, the guys out of Texas, out of Killeen met us. Some other people, some independent riders met us. There, Paul been with us from day one. Shout out to Paul. He's royalty with the family, and so we just started doing it every year. It's always the first weekend in October, and we pick different locations in the center of the continental U.S. to try to sit there and say, well, people coming from the West Coast, people from the East Coast, and we meet in the middle. And
Mm.
it has just grown over the years to we were down in Texas, man. We had over 300 plus bike, maybe 350 bikes in a convoy going to the restaurant. Last year we had probably close to 300 bikes going to the restaurant. We would get there on a Friday. Some people come in, we come in Thursday, and some people come in on that Thursday. And then that Friday morning, we will do a unity ride. The unity ride is just us riding to some historic location so that we can frequent and give back to the community. And so it's a great event. It's not a party. It's not a party. It's always been something where people can come together and just share stories, meet other long distance riders, people that you meet on social media. It's just a great environment. We have a barbecue on that Friday. We have a barbecue on that Saturday because it's all about coming to ride to eat, man. And
Yeah.
so Sharif and I, we put that on every year, first October, first weekend in October. We encourage everybody to come. The host hotel is already sold out. And so
Oh,
yeah, man,
wow.
it has become a family reunion. That's what we call it now. It's the Reef and K Solo official Ride to Eat family reunion. And
Well,
yes, we got them crazy uncles that's gonna be walking around with the sandals and socks on. We got it all, man. So if you want to come have a good time, we got the likes of, we got legends come, Hero Benson, we got Hoka Hayes coming, we got IBA SMAs coming. It's just great, man. We've had the president of the SMA. We're gonna have the president of the IBA, Mike Kneebones, coming this year. So
Ooh,
yeah, man. So look, if you want to meet these people that's signing these certificates, get pictures with them, hang on your wall. This is where you need to come. This is where you need to come.
I'm gonna do my very,
Long
very
distance
best
riders
to
from
get
far
down
and
there.
near come, man.
I'm gonna be in my cage, unfortunately, but
Hey, listen,
I
we
definitely
don't care
purpose to
how
come
you
down
come.
there.
We don't care how
Um,
you
and
come as long as you come.
and that's when I want to. I truly, truly want to. And the missus know how I miss the riding on too. So prayerfully next year I'll have something to ride on.
Ah, oh, man.
Yeah, yeah, she knows how much I miss it. Bless her heart. Even though she
Yeah,
gets on,
yeah.
she can work my nerves sometimes, but I
don't,
love her.
don't say that too loud, man.
Well,
But
she
yeah,
gonna
we're
watch
gonna be
this. This is gonna be
yeah.
she once you see this is too late. I love you, baby. Um, let's talk about the podcast. Let's talk about the
Oh man, the
podcast,
latest edition.
your latest edition.
Oh man, this is what this was a uh because I couldn't compete in the Hoka last year due to medical reasons. I wasn't able to compete. Well, not compete, but participate. So I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of it. And I sat down and I just fired the computer up. And I said, I just want to cover this. I know the map. I can pull it up. I called a couple of guys. I called Wolf, old club brother of mine, down in Columbus, Georgia. I called Chris Hopper, and I hit up Logic. I hit up Tone. I hit up a other couple of people, man, to just sit there and say, "Hey, narrate this with me, man." And I mean, it literally was something great. It was
Mhm.
something great. I had people who literally was saying, "Solo, thank you for highlighting our sport," and not say sport, but highlighting the events the way that you did, the way that you narrated, the way that you knew and presented it. And then you had the morning edition, the afternoon edition, the updates. It was that people were following along with it everywhere. everywhere. And the watch hours was through the roof, man. It was through the roof. So that said, hey, look, Solo, and I've been quiet. I didn't talk a lot. I didn't, I'd come to an event, I stayed there an hour, and I was gone. But I said, "Hey, man," and people telling me, "Hey, look, man, you need to do this." Shout out to Big SAR, shout out to Retro, shout out to Big Sale, shout out to GQ, shout out to LT. Uh, those guys said, "Hey, Solo, you need to do this," and so those guys motivated, inspired me to sit behind this microphone and this camera and say, "Hey, look, take that vision that you have and bring it to fruition." And there, I say, man, Logic was just the perfect fit for the show. He was and
Mm.
people question it. People's like, how did he get on the show? How did he get on the show? Timing, everything was right.
Right.
Everything was right, man. And the different backgrounds that we've had, uh, the way that we interact with our guests, uh, what we bring out of our guests, it works. It works.
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
work on a
chemistry is
phone
there.
line. I'm gonna work on a phone line.
We can't be giving all the secrets away, man. But we're not, like I said, you're a pioneer in this thing, man. That's nothing that we're not doing. But it's just my vision. My vision
I love
of
your vision though.
highlighting the unsung riders is forever will be the platform staple.
I
It will
love it
forever be the
because
platform staple.
I've learned I've learned so much. I learned a lot from, watching your show. At the very beginning, I couldn't get on it as much as I wanted to and
Right.
watch it. I
Right.
would have to watch the rerun because I was in class.
Right.
But after when class was over, I was like, okay, 8 o'clock, get here. I'm going, okay, yeah, I can't wait.
Right. Right.
And I have not been let down from any of your episodes. I've been entertained, I've been educated, I've been, again, inspired and motivated to, you know, do shows like this,
Right.
with pioneers, with someone who's been in the game for, many days. I ain't gonna say years, for many days, and, that can offer some good wisdom and good information to people out there who want to be part of this culture, this
Yeah.
this 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 movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I was part of a club for a year. It didn't last. Why? Because there was no solid structure. That's what
Mhm.
I believe.
Mhm.
I'm still friends with everybody
Mhm.
that we was starting the club off with, but it's something that I I found the camaraderie and the bond of the motorcycle community to be so tight. It in some cases it's tighter than a church congregation, or just as tight as a church congregation.
Mhm.
Because they look out for each other, regardless of what colors are on their back. If there's a fallen rider, they're out there
Oh
to
yeah.
show love,
Oh
out
yeah,
there to show
man. Oh
support.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, throughout all of the beefing and club on club stuff and protocol pushing and all that, the motorcycle culture is rich in history. Um, it's always been there. From my research, looking back, man, even some of the big diamond clubs, the way that he was even formed was working in the community,
you know,
looking out for the community, uh,
and
giving
big
back to the community.
shout out to the Diamonds that they the recent proc event
Oh
conference.
yeah, man.
You know, oh
Yeah,
wow, big
I
hats off to
big
them
hats
on that.
off to those guys. That was something that I felt a long time ago. And I would always say that, man, I would be riding and I said, what if our top diamonds were to come together and
Yeah,
stop beefing?
man.
That's a
See,
force. And that's a
when,
force. And say, my sector, ain't nothing gonna happen to our to the whole thing. We're gonna
Mhm.
set up this 360 around our whole community. And
Mhm.
instead of pounding fists in on us, turn around and say, we're gonna pound fists on everything that's trying to harm our communities.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? To
Yes.
me, I when I heard that, my mouth dropped. And I said, God, you answer prayers, don't you? You do answer prayers.
He
Because
does.
I know I was riding a long time, man, out there by myself, flying nomad. And
Mhm.
I've been in places, like I said, and I said it before. Some places I was asked, you can't be here. I wouldn't be here. Um, I never had any issues on the urban side because simple fact is my reputation superseded me. People knew
Right.
me. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? People knew me. So I was able to maneuver the way that I did based off of the man, not the vest, but the man.
Right.
And so I always say that the cut don't make the man make the cut. So with that, it was good to see that unity happen.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think there's still more room to grow with it. I think there's still more things down the road that could be a major impact, a turning point, because times are changing, man. The tempo of the country is changing.
Yeah.
So
It
eh,
is, and I just pray that that will catch on to a lot more,
stop
um,
beefing
you
club
know
on club, man.
yeah,
Stop that
'cause
mess. I'm
it's
a grown man. Bro. I'm up in my almost late 50s now. You know what I'm saying? I kind of enjoy my freedom right now. I enjoy going out to the refrigerator and seeing plenty of food in there. Eat when I want, go to bed when I want. Uh, so those chances I'm not taking anymore.
how
I'm
about
sorry,
that?
I'm not taking those chances anymore.
That part right
That
there.
part right. I'm a grown ass man now, and so I'm gonna do grown ass man things, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. Try to be positive. Um, I'm not perfect. I made mistakes. I made mistakes, but I'm gonna try to be positive and keep inspiring others to say, get out there and ride. Get out there and ride.
Your motto,
Aspire to inspire,
"Aspire to
to
inspire."
inspire, be legendary.
What made you come up with that? How did that come about?
Man, it was people were saying you're an inspiration to me, Solo. You're an inspiration to me. And I had one percenters. I had 99ers, independents, white, blacks. You are an inspiration, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. And I said, I aspire to. And it was just aspire to inspire.
And
And
you are
everybody said,
legendary.
everybody said, you a legend, Solo, you a legend. I
Yes,
said, be
sir.
legendary, man. So that's how I came up with my motto, man. Aspire to inspire, be legendary.
I like it. I
Yeah,
don't like it, I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
Aspire to inspire, man. Be
It's
legendary.
awesome. So
Yes,
what's
sir.
next for K Solo? Are you gonna are you still
I
gonna
think I'm a
you
ride
still
to the
gonna go
moon.
to the office anytime
I think
soon?
I'm a ride to the moon and maybe Mars.
Oh, so
No,
you go
man.
to the high rise office then.
Oh man, upper room. Oh man.
Oh,
No, no, no. I think I will continue to ride, but due to health precautions, I think I'm gonna scale back. Last year, I think I ended up riding, and even with the surgery, and even with recovery, I think I ended up riding 75,000 plus miles, which I look at it and say, man, I could have easily hit another 100,000. But that wasn't my goal. I never set out to ride 100,000 miles in a year. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. That was never said, well, I'm going to go ride 100,000 miles. No, because every mile that I rode was for a cause, a reason, a therapy session. It wasn't for me to just sit there and say, I'm going to go and ride 100,000 miles because, bro, there's a lot between day one and day 365. There's a lot that can happen in between there. So
amen.
people start out, you never know. And like I say, I just want to continue to ride. I want to meet more people. I want to come visit people, clubhouses. I want to stay involved with the culture, with the MC community. I've ridden for a brand, and shout out to that brand. Much love, nothing but love. Forever be black and white. It is what it is. But now I'm riding for my brand, and that's what I'm gonna be riding for.
That's what's up. So let's talk about real quick
Man, my
your
you
huh? What?
go ahead. No, no, go ahead.
Oh,
You talking about you ain't crossed 60 minutes, man.
I know. I'm going to try to take it to 8:30. I'm gonna do 8:30. Because it's so much that I want to get out of you. That's why. Okay, for those of y'all who are just tuning in or rewatching this, I'm going to have him back on again, but it's going to be under different circumstances. But I just wanted you guys to get to know this man here. This brother here
Thank you.
has
Thank you,
a
sir.
plethora of information, a plethora of knowledge. And what I want to get out of him right now is for you to name one of your most memorable, embarrassing moments or funny moments. That's something I always ask all my guests. So that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. One of your most embarrassing moments and or funny moments.
Oh. I mean that's been something. Like I say, man, I show the good, the bad. I show the good more than the bad and the ugly. But I mean, probably most embarrassing, man. It was a club. It was just a club event. I was down in Sanford, North Carolina, hanging out with the Sanford Bros, and we was on that old stump hole, that old skull cat, sipping, and next thing I know, I'm slumped over. They standing around me taking pictures, pointing at the legend like, we got him, we got him, we got him. And so when they sent me the picture, man, the picture's out there somewhere. Shout out to the Sanford chapter, man. Love you guys. I had a great time, man. I had a great time. But to get caught slumped over, man, that definitely tickled me. Like, damn, OG, you don't get caught slipping, man. You know better than that. But just feeling so good around the bros, man. I was enjoying the moment and and
That's what's
and
up.
and, and got caught slipping. So they got me, man. They got me. If I was a
They got
prospect,
you.
if they was a prospect, I probably would have had shaving cream on me, a pair of panties on my head, a bra or something like that put on me or something like that,
Never know.
man.
You never know. Um, Now the other question I always ask my guests, what would you tell the younger you what you know now, or an advice that you would give someone who is wanting to step into the culture of the motorcycle community?
What would I've asked people this question before. What would I say to younger me? And Bam said it the best, man. I wish I could remember what Bam said, but a younger me, I just just pay attention, learn all you can, do the best you can, be committed to it, and research the history of the culture, the people that made this culture what it is. The Sugar Bears, the Hero Bensons, the Diamond guys who started this, man. The guys up in New York who started on the East Coast. Do homework. Don't just pick the book up and start running with it. Take time to open the book up and read the book. That's what I would tell them. Um, Getting out long distance riding, make sure you're riding for you. Ride for you. Ride your ride. That's what everybody's saying. Ride your ride, man. Um, you want to be legendary. If you're in a club, be legendary for your club. Sit there and say, man, I've ridden with these colors on my back. I built bonds across the country. That's made my organization better. I know that was my platform for years. I flew those colors on my back to go places to sit there and say, this is the organization. This is what we are about. And flew it well and flew it proudly. Um,
Wow,
you know, that's what I would say.
that's what's up. And you say that with a humble heart. I can see the expression on your face. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, look, we we gotta go ahead and break it down. get ready to break it. Get the music. Just go out, my normal stuff. Bear with me as we get ready to come to a close. Ah, all you riders out there, make sure you pray before you ride. Pray during your ride and pray on your way home. All you drivers out there who are driving, put the phone down, put the cup down, pay attention, because that person on your left or your right is somebody's mother, father, brother, sister, husband, or wife. And we want to see them come home. Their loved ones want to see them come home in the same manner that they left, alive and whole. The bikers out there who are showing off, popping the wheelies and doing the crazy stuff. There's a time and a place for all of that. But make sure you do that at that time and at that place. Because the person on your left and your right, your brother or sister, they want to make it home also in the same manner that they left, alive and whole. So until the next time, guys, keep the wheels down. And everybody, we will see y'all on the next journey, the next trip, the next destination, the next sitting right here on MC Love. Until then, I'm going to change it up again next week. But until then, this is DJ FX with MC Love. Burn rubber and not your soul. Big shout out to my guest, K Solo, who's joined me.
Respect.
And I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm going to have my next guest. I ain't going to tell y'all. Y'all see. It's going to be a special show, though, with my next guest. And then we're going to have Solo back again in upcoming weeks. And make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday. Give them the lowdown. Give them the lowdown. Give them the lowdown.
Hey, tune in. Rider with K Solo, the podcast with Logic. Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific. Tune in. Rider with K Solo, the podcast with Logic.
That's what's up. All right. Once again, round of applause. Oh, man. I had an awesome time with this show. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. And yeah, I'm going to run some upcoming events for y'all to shut out the show. And we will catch y'all on the next go round. K Solo, thank you again, sir.
All right, sir.
Peace and blessings to you. I will hit you up after the show.
That'll work.
All right. All right, everybody. This is DJ FX. We out. Peace.